Hello and welcome, Yig here. Today we are looking at Ball X Pit, the game that everybody already showed like 2 days ago. This is a really fun sort of Arkanoid style roguelite that has a lot of interesting stuff going on. So, if you like the gameplay you see here, there'll be a link to the Steam page in the description. If you want to help the channel grow, subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. Now, jumping in here, I could reset the demo, but we have a couple buildings that need to get built over here, and that's what these are waiting for. So you see that upgrade bounce there, upgrade bounce here. These two buildings are still getting built. You have a little bit of a town builder thing, so you can actually like build a few things, and that is going to get bigger and bigger as you go with all kinds of different things you can. I haven't unlocked everything in the demo, but I unlocked a bunch. At the beginning or the end, I don't know if it's the beginning or the end of each turn, you have a harvest. I think it's the end of each turn before a fight. So I basically, if you consider the fight as the start of a turn, at the end of each turn you do a harvest, and you can direct your little guys to run in whichever way you need to. I'm going to set them up over here because I want to get this done as soon as possible. And I messed up because they're trapped in this loop here. Okay, there we go. Free! All right, now we completed this. That's going to give us some extra strength because we've been upgrading this thing to get a little bit extra damage. Now, the whole presentation of this is really good. There are 3 characters in the demo. We are going to go in with... they each have their own abilities. This guy really doesn't do much. He's normal, and with the bleed ball is not too bad. I don't know what scattered aim means, because it seems like it's just a little spread to your aim. This one actually works really good. This guy actually works really good for beating the boss on the first boneyard area, and so we'll go right there anyway. Yes. And each character has their own levels too, which is pretty cool. Now, this boneyard, the area they have in there is pretty cool. Now, you can turn auto attack on and off in the options. I just turned it on because it made it a little bit easier. You move slower while you're auto attacking, but there's an upgrade that like lets you fix that. So the thing with this game is you're basically playing Arkanoid. You're playing your brick buster here. And then as you're going up, there's a couple things. Like if they reach the bottom of the screen, they attack you, and that does damage to your life. This is your experience right here. Each time you go up a level, you'll get one or more attributes, and like each of them does a certain thing. This does your AoE, this one does fire rate, this one's ball speed, okay. And then like strength is damage, which is one thing that we just got upgraded based off of that building. So we actually do a little bit of extra damage. Now this is some cool stuff because there's a full set of 4 knives. One for each direction, and they give you bonus chance to do... to crit when you do that. Sorry. So on the field, though, interestingly enough, I'm going to stand there, and you see that exclamation mark? When they have that exclamation mark, that means you're close enough to them that they can attack you, and in a moment they will, and that'll do some damage. So you kind of want to stay back as far as possible, but in some of these rounds, you're not going to have getting enough damage can sometimes be a little bit of a pain, especially when you're just starting out with a character. I want to show you something really cool. And there's a really cool thing. So as you go along, now that ball hits everybody in the row, which is cool. But there's also a little bit more to this. Now, it, like a lot of roguelites, has evolutions, but this one also has fusions. And what a fusion does is it takes one of your balls, and it combines the 2 of them together. So if you had both of these maxed at level 3, you could combine them into one that would have the properties of both of these. This is where things get really interesting for me, and I think is really where the neat parts of this game show up. I'm kind of tempted. Alright, I'm going to take that, which isn't going to give us a lot. Now, these do 2 or more things. So now we're actually at 3 and 3, which is good. Oh, there is an upgrade there is a combo off of that, by the way, that is an actual like fusion, and it's pretty cool. So we'll probably do it. So yeah, we've got fusions, we've got evolutions, and then we've got the ability to stick 2 of them together with duct tape. Like, it has some pretty cool stuff going on. So what we're looking for here, when we catch a special ball, automatically shoot. That actually probably is a good. I want to try that on him, and the reason because his part of his specialty is those when they hit the back wall. So if I get it up here, it will automatically return to me, which should count as a catch. So if we get certain balls, we can actually make a lot of miniature. So yeah, now there's a really cool one that I did yesterday, which was the lasers here, and hopefully we'll get the other laser to combine with it. In this case, we're actually going to end up with probably... okay, I think I know exactly which combos are probably going to happen first. The ice shot one is actually really good. There's a combo where you put... There's a laser that goes up and down, and there's a laser that goes right. So we have the one that goes up and down. There's one that goes right, left as well. Okay, so now we're going to grab this, because this is cool. So this one passes through enemies. Now, I mentioned that things get kind of interesting because we have, we have all these, we have these other things that we can do besides just evolutions, because evolutions are cool, and they definitely do stuff. And sometimes, so for example, we do have our evolution here, and then we're going to take those and we're going to put them together. And then it's going to have traits of both. Now, evolution is different than fusion. Fusion is combining the two together. Evolution is giving you something completely different. Which also means that you can work on the previous thing again if you have the upgrades and you still have the time in your run. Which is very cool. And as you can see, this one does something interesting. So it starts to angle the lasers depending on what orientation the ball headed in. And that's kind of interesting. Now, let's go ahead and do this. Tempting. This is all right, let's see. Oh, each time we're healed. Okay, so we can get a freezer again. But I think we'll go with this upgrade, even though I didn't really want... I'm hoping to get another set of lasers. Now, what I want to see if we can do is either... Oh, actually, we have these freeze lasers, and they'll work for the moment. Now, these are lieutenants, like mid-bosses. And they take a lot more damage. A lot of these, like in my case, I should be shooting like this. Because he's going to take the most damage at that in that manner right there. Because it's hitting a wall and it's hitting something before it's hitting him because I get bonus damage on the bounce. Sometimes you just have to take him out though. Because you will, especially in the beginning when you only have like a level or two. You'll get to the point where these come down to here really often, and it's like, ooh. Once you get a couple levels, like I would say about 4 levels or so in, you have enough extra stats that it doesn't happen very frequently. We can have an earthquake ball, that would be good, but I think we're going to go with this because it has a chance to heal us. All right. Ooh, there we go, there we go, there we go. All right. So I'm gonna need this would be so nice. This is so tempting. There's so many things you can do here. And it's very cool with like how much creativity you have as the player to do different things. We could get that. Yeah, we'll get that. I'll cover it. We're gonna need some levels for the other things. Let's do that. Okay, now he's up there. We need, I believe, our first one to be a 3 next. And then we're going to take and we're going to fuse those two. And that will give us a very nice and fun reaction. And this is the part that I really like about the game. Is the reactions and the types of things that you can build based off of whatever you're doing in here. Okay, so we're still at 1 there. If I'm going to take any of these, 25% when we pick up a gem. Yeah, we'll take that. Baby balls do a lot of damage. So, like, you can definitely boost and play an entire session almost based off their damage alone, especially if you get the damage upgrade card, which we didn't grab, but still, we have a ton of them, and they're just adding to our damage in a huge amount. And if we're lucky, we can catch a lot of of our special balls. Not the baby ones, but our special ones, and we'd start generating a lot of stuff. So we have a cool boss, and I do like the way the boss battle in this one is interesting because you can kind of cheese the beginning if you like would just want to sit down there and be super careful. All right, yes, I needed that. One more of those, please. There we go. Now we're in it to win it. All right. Now, the only problem with this character, if I remember correctly, I believe when his hit the back wall, they lose their wall bounce bonus damage, but I don't rely on the wall bounce bonus damage that much because it's only tends to be about 5% unless you get a really good angle. All right, now we have both our 3. And here's what we have an evolution. So we're going to fusion though. So we're going to take this and we're going to take this and we're going to fuse those because I want craziness. Now this has Ghost X Freeze. This has all of both. So now when this ball is passing through things, it's going to be shooting lasers everywhere, which is very, very cool. Oh, increased movement speed. Yeah, there we go. So, like I said, there's a thing that'll let you move fast and not have. Now, since I have the auto fire on, I'm kind of always moving in slow speed until I get to that. But usually, I've found that that's not too much of a problem. Even if I don't take this upgrade, I haven't had too many issues with that. All right, we got ourselves another guy here, and like I said, this is great because that ball, each time it goes through people, if you get a good like thing like this, you can hit like 2 or 3 times and just nail a bunch of guys with that. And the other laser combo works so well in there because it hits each guy as it goes up, and it does a laser going. If you get the fully upgraded one, let's get over here. Let's get this XP. Get this guy over here. Sometimes you can just get guys in here. Let's get these guys over here because I'm kind of not paying enough attention to the bottom chart. Sorry. I kind of want to get rid of him, but our baby balls will be doing our jobs for us. Oh, hey, that worked. Yeah, because sometimes... Oh, yeah, because it hit all that. That works very well for us. All right, now, here's another one. Wind, which we'll take and go ahead and grab. And that one also passes through enemies, which is great. The only problem that you will sometimes run into is if you have a bunch of them that pass through, a bunch of balls that pass through enemies, or the upgrade that causes all of them to pass through, you will basically only be shooting on cooldown. And what I mean by that is your stuff has to actually kind of go away before you get to it. All right, yeah. See how I'm starting to get a little low on damage? That's kind of the problem that I've run into early, but it's not too bad. All right, let's do that. Not sure what slow does. We have to get rid of him. If he's out, then we're okay. All right, now get rid of you. Get rid of you. I want to grab all this XP first before I grab that because I'd like to get this level and maybe get an evolution or a merger. We're gonna have to run down there real fast. Okay, well we're gonna grab that, but that's not gonna do it. But that's okay. We'll get the level right there. That'll work. Yeah, because what happens is if all of your balls will pass through enemies, they'll tend to collect up here at the top because the upgrade for it, there's an upgrade that makes them all pass through enemies until they reach the top of the screen, and so it's like super tempting to take that one. But sometimes it can make you too weak down on the bottom of the screen because your balls will stay up here for ages. Now, if you have the 2 that we have in that list, then it works pretty well, but then it doesn't feel like as good of an upgrade because you've already got 2 that do that while you also have some that work this way. I wonder... Oh, you know what it would be a really solid combo? that? Heal past that? Okay, we'll just take this. I don't want to spend too much of our gold on that, even though gold, that's all gold really does. Just in case. What I would like is something a little beefy in damage, and I may have to take one of those, Alright, we are good there. So here's what I think we're going to do. I think we're going to go ahead and fusion these two together. Because when they start passing through the enemies, that's going to be a lot more hits to potentially recharge our life with. Yeah, that's working real good. Okay. We just need something. Oops, don't run into him. That's not optimal. The arrows do a little bit of damage, but not that much. They're not too scary at this level. Later on, I'm sure they're going to be, oh my god, dangerous, and I'll be like, ah. All right. Oh, let's get that. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. See, when you start combining like the lasers together, you start getting ones where it's like, oh, that's super good. Bling, 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 bling. The lasers, I think, are the ones that combine the best with the balls that just pass through enemies, because as you're shooting, it'll just look... It's crazy how much they do. It is very fun. It's one of the things that I really like. Plus, like I said, the evolutions are really good, but also the ability to just, like, duct tape two balls together and run with it is just fantastic. Like, it has definitely made, even with what is, I think, a fairly limited amount of selection of balls in the demo, each run still feels a lot different because you have your RNG and you have all that stuff, and then you also have the, ooh, yeah, we could get that up to 2 already. This is tempting, but that's till they hit a wall, and that's just, it works good if you want to just, like, get below them and get rid of guys like that. So, but it doesn't work so great the other way. Okay, now we're gonna get it. Now this character, interestingly enough, has an advantage over everybody else, and that is you can actually damage him in a much easier fashion just by doing this and waiting for them to come back to you. And you can see, like, all of those are hitting him and taking him out. Let me take these guys out real quick. There we go. There we go. He'll generate some more later, but we're not too worried about that. So yeah, you can actually just use the bounce and the return mechanism as your sort of your aiming to get him. Right, to get some really good damage in on him. And it's just lining up all of the stuff returning to you. Like, some of the other characters will actually have a lot harder time fighting this guy because of that. Because otherwise what you have to do is you have to, like, basically get in here, and if you're lucky it'll do damage. But the only guaranteed damage is over that way. Oh, no, 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 no. No, Skeleton King. Alright. Yeah, the game itself is super fun, though. And, like, hitboxes and everything are completely... Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at how much damage we do when we do that. Oh, it's crazy. No more damage. Being able to run full speed is good, though. You know, I'm saying. Pew, pew, pew. He has more of an ability to dodge, which makes, because of the ball return path being something you can rely on to do damage, basically. It gives you a little more ability to just kind of micromanage your dodging. That's the other guys. Everybody kind of has their own advantages, but in this particular boss fight, I think this is the strongest character because he's just pretty easy to do that with. Then each time, 1725, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. All right, this will be the shortest video in the history of ever. So yeah, then you, like I said, you can go through each turn and each time. I haven't built anything else out simply because I need to get this fixed. This thing's gonna, let's see if we can bounce our way to victory here. There we go. Oh yeah, we built it. I like the little bounce game too. It has like all kinds of stuff. So now we have an extra to level 2 on this. If we wanted to build this up, it's going to cost a lot of wheat. I got to get a lot more wheat before that. Goes up to +3. So as you upgrade each thing, it works really well. And your city is your sort of meta progression at the moment, which is cool. You also have the lift, which you can actually upgrade. You get gears like once. I can't remember if it's once per level or what exactly it is, but you can upgrade that. I don't know all what the upgrade to unlock deeper levels. Okay, yeah. So we did the prologue and then that one. And you can expand this area, which is not in the demo, and a bunch of other things that aren't in the demo. And each of the runs plays in such a different manner that it's kind of interesting to see, like, what combinations. Like, doing a pass-through on one that does poison was really good. I had the bleed and fire were doing something together in one run. Just general fun. Lots of replayability. So this has been a quick look at Ball X Pit. Next Fest. It's great. And oh my god, busy. I have tried like 30 games so far. Again, I'll have a link to the Steam page in the description. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you come back for the next one. Most of all, as always, have a great day.